We'll be getting into the details, and it's quite interesting to see how that goes. Harriet Hadi is with me, and she's also going to help us give the updates of the stories. Harriet, welcome.
Thank you, Annie.
And happy Monday to you.
I know, right?
Mondays are not easy, but I'm sorry. Let's take it like that. It is what it is.
Well,
all right.
Thank you very much. And it's not time for us to bring you the news on Good Afternoon Ghana. Let's take a look at the headlines. This afternoon, we take a look at the NPP and NDC's flag bearer race, how individual contenders are shaping public perception, and the latest Global Info Analytics poll on who emerges frontrunner in the race. Presidential staffer Rosemond Obinna explains why the NDC have not initiated a state of emergency in the fight against illegal mining. Plus, traders in the eastern region weigh in on President Mahama's performance so far. There's so many more coming up shortly. That's our first story. Chief Executive Officer of the Light Foundation, Sheikh Abubakar Ali Napari, has cautioned the opposition NPP against mounting early pressure on government to declare a state of emergency, stressing that President Mahama remains open to decisive measures while pursuing strategic solutions to the crisis. He spoke to Metro News.
And if you look at even the position of opposition, let me say, the previous government, to be honest, I would say that they will be, they should have been the last people to call on state of emergency at this point of time, because comparing to the level of distraction that took place during the previous administration, and it was concerned to the president himself for him to come and tell Ghanaians that he is going to put his presidency on the line to make sure that Galamsey will be a thing of past. But 8 years down the line, he was not able to do it. And truly speaking, when I look at the things and my own perspective, I'm entitled to my opinion. I could see that this government has shown clearly that they are doing something positive in fighting Galamsey. This government loves the member of government or party, including cabinet ministers. They lost their life in fighting against Galamsey. So therefore, and the government is only 8 to 9 months young. So therefore, we don't have to politicize this very serious issue.
Away from that, Vice President Professor Nana Jinokwo-Kwajiman has called for deeper trade and development ties between Ghana and China with a focus on creating opportunities for the youth and promoting sustainable growth. She was speaking at a ceremony in Accra to mark the 76th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China and the 65th anniversary of Ghana-China diplomatic relations.
The Vice President's remarks came as both countries celebrated a historic relationship that began on July 5, 1960, when Ghana became the first sub-Saharan African nation to establish diplomatic ties with China under President Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and Chairman Mao Zedong. She acknowledged China's support in developing Ghana's infrastructure, including roads, hospitals, and schools. She further urged both countries to expand cooperation in renewable energy, digital technology, and trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area.
We are implementing our 24-hour economy program, which emphasizes the creation of jobs, modernization, connectivity, exports, and the attendant many more opportunities. This means then that there is potential to deepen our relationship and collaboration with China in many areas. I would like to stress the importance of principles like mutual respect, a win-win partnership, and prosperity that reaches our most vulnerable.
Chinese ambassador to Ghana, Tong Defa, reaffirmed China's commitment to strengthening its partnership with Ghana, stressing the importance of delivering tangible benefits to citizens of both nations.
In the face of mounting global challenges, China remains steadfast in standing with developing countries, particularly those of African nations. China advocates redressing historical injustice suffered by Africa and is committed to building a more just and equitable global governance system and advance toward a community with a shared future for humanity. The second number is 76. Since the founding of the People's Republic of China 76 years ago, its development has captured global attention by achieving two miracles: rapid economic growth and long-term social stability.
He praised the contributions of Chinese enterprises operating in Ghana and urged them to strictly adhere to local laws and actively support national development.
President John Dramani Mahama has promised to revive the economy and improve the livelihoods of ordinary Ghanaians. But how are these promises translating on the ground, especially for market women who form the backbone of Ghana's informal sector? Today, we visit the Ophir market in the eastern region to hear from traders the assessment of the John Dramani Mahama-led administration so far.
Since his return to office for a non-consecutive second term on January 7, 2025, President Mahama has embarked on what his administration calls a national reset agenda with key economic indicators showing signs of improvement, including a drop in inflation and a stronger cedi. But beyond official statements and policy headlines lies an important question. How do ordinary Ghanaians feel about the president's performance so far? Let's hear from some traders here at Ophir Market.
Ya di amanyo sembe tunten na ya kanokware se ne anokware nete. Ya tin sem bebre. Sesi ya me no ka sei. Meto electricity bu akosoro. First no ya wo pure water vote keketewa no na ye 2 cedi 50 pesos. Ine ya 5 cedi. Enti ahochere ne de sese na aye more esen first no
Electricity na first what turn is saying as say what turn is saying.
Oh first no me fear ametimu no me to electricity 100 cedis a me to me edi for 3 weeks. Sese now me to electricity 100 cedis a 2 weeks na eko.
For my side, as I don't deal directly with them, I deal with the outgoers. I realize that the cost of production from them and the cost running out to us is a little bit down. So I think with that one, I'll give the government a plus. We're trying to reduce the seeds that they give to the farmers for them to grow, and the harvesting challenges, because then now the government too has done well. I think I can't say just this 8 months, but getting to the latter part of the year, the government was supporting with the rice mills. So we can, at first there were not much rice mills.
Prepaid no a cost rokra and water bills no enye eno de enye kra ye to 10 million okay ye mfie no e abansoro nti nkrofot ye to 10 million 1 month me na me ka kro
oh me de me ni party bi mo ba me gidi ye say papa no obo ne ho modern obo ejuma na ekọ nanim kakra bi a yankasa ye be ho improvement. Oh, me dey at least my whole flexibility with my brabo mo. Me won say niama he me kakra.
Ni galante no nsu nye kura. Nti ano che se wo hwe no wo kan won say ye nsu. say young answer. What about what's the galam say what by where this what about one show where some can she.
From cautious optimism to lingering frustration, expectations from Ghanaians are clear. Transparency, accountability, and tangible results. Reporting for Metro News, Ekia Babu, Ophir Market, Eastern Region.
Away from that, the real estate firm Sukasa says it's ready to collaborate with the government to help address Ghana's housing deficit, which currently stands at 1.8 million.
Addressing some concerns with regards to its operations over the years, its public relations officer Daniel Kofi Ewuku Asari stressed that Sukasa remains solvent, compliant with the law, and focused on its mission of delivering affordable homes to Ghanaians. He noted that the company and its directors have cooperated fully with every inquiry from law enforcement bodies, including the Criminal Investigations Department and the Economic and Organized Crime Office.
On its own, it cannot deliver the housing deficit. Now, the housing deficit stands about 1.8 million units as of even 2022, 2023. And I know the index keep, changing and changing for the worse because population is increasing and we're not doing much in terms of infrastructure provision. And therefore, since we've aptly positioned ourselves to help nip this problem in the bud, it is the right time for the government to engage with us. It's the right time for the government to find out what the challenges are for us as a private sector. Facilitating the environment is very cardinal. Even if you need foreign direct investment, you need to facilitate the environment for them. But I am surprised that the pattern of behavior we have seen for which this press conference is organized doesn't seem to promote the facilitation of the local industry.
Delivery timelines for some housing projects have been delayed, but argued that they should not be misinterpreted as fraud.
If your property is delayed, we want to tell the world again and again, we have seen international contract. And we understand the legal dimensions of contracting. When your property is delayed under a contractual agreement, it is not tantamount to fraud and it is not tantamount to money laundering. Don't use words loosely because that word costs us more than your property that is delayed. Right. You don't mean well for the country. You can go out there and say, when we bought a property from them, they delayed in the timeline of delivery. But even, let me educate the public, that the timeline of delivery is not delayed deliberately.
Now, Deputy Minister for Interior, Ebenezer Oklete, has urged young people in Zongo communities to refrain from using illegal drugs, warning that it can destroy their lives and render them ineligible to benefit from various state opportunities. He was speaking at the inauguration and swearing in of the Sabon Zongo Neighborhood Watch at Inokra.
The scourge of drug usage among young people in Ghana has emerged as a significant impediment to the country's sustainable growth. The Narcotics Control Commission has so far seized over 20,000 illicit drugs in 2025 alone. The Zongo communities have for years been known for various social vices, including illicit drug use. The Sabon Zongo Neighborhood Committee members have therefore been trained, empowered, and sworn in to help curb the use of illicit drugs in Sabon Zongo. Deputy Minister for the Interior, Ebenezer Oklete Telabi, who led the swearing-in together with His Highness Chief Alhaji Yaya Hamisu Bako Sakin Sangon Ankara, said the fight against illicit drug abuse requires a multifaceted approach.
Those who indulge in drugs, I issue a strong warning. We will not tolerate any activity that undermines the safety and well-being of our citizens. We will work with community leaders and law enforcement agencies to identify and prosecute those who engage in drug-related activities.
ACP Gifty Maunyaga Tehoda, Director of Community Policing Unit, said community policing is crucial to the fight against crime in Ghana.
Community policing is a vital strategy. Deem it proper.
To other news, Presidential aide Rosemond Obeng asserts that it is essential for Ghanaians to acknowledge the government's efforts in combating illegal mining. Now, during her appearance on Good Morning Ghana, she stressed that given the assistance work the NDC administration is undertaking in this battle, a state of emergency would have been more appropriate during the NPP administration's time in office. In a pointed response, Laratu Musasa, a member of the NPP communications team, contended that the NDC administration has achieved nothing that warrants the praise they are seeking from the Ghanaian public. She questioned what new initiatives the NDC government has implemented.
We have now deployed military, people around our water bodies and our forest areas. And so you dare not go to these areas to practice illegal mining.
I hope they are not protecting illegal miners.
They are not.
They are not protecting.
No, you see,
I don't know why I'm saying that.
Yes, because of what we had experienced in the past with the 288 reserves that had 44 being, protected by tax, where tax were protecting illegal miners, and we reclaiming 9 for the red zone. So I know because there's a history, you may be tempted to think that the military people we have deployed to the water bodies and the forest reserves may be serving the same purpose as the previous government. But that is not the case, Annie. These are people who have been deployed to ensure that you don't cross the threshold. And we mean business. And that is actually the latest of all the things we are doing to combat galamsey. And so now to the question of why we are not declaring state of emergency. Let me say this emphatically. With all due respect to Ghanaians who want a state of emergency declared, we have an action plan. We are executing the action plan vis-a-vis a past government that was clueless, that they don't have any idea or have any plan or could not work out their action plan or slogans like the Operation Halt, Operation This, Operation That. We all heard it.
We went into an election with manifestos and promises. In one breath, the LI has been repealed. In another breath, when Parliament comes back, it will be repealed. In one breath, millions of trees have been planted. In another breath, you are the one clarifying it, that it's better to say what? That you are in the process of doing
reclaiming.
Annie, what is this current government doing that is new? They're doing nothing.
Revoke forest licenses.
How did they find these people to revoke the licenses? How do you regulate a sector? It's by making sure that you get those who are identified, registered, right? So if anybody wants to make a case of registration an issue, then I don't think we are ready to fight illegal mining. When does one become illegal? One becomes illegal when they don't have the right documentation. What is galamsey? Illegal mining. The small-scale mining, there's illegal mining, which is galamsey. How do you get to revoke a person's registration? Is when they don't go by the tenants that they've signed up to.
A robust mobile phone app targeted at early reporting of animal disease outbreaks across the country is set to change the face of disease surveillance in Ghana. At the launch of the event, Mobile Application Plus, Minister for Food and Agriculture Eric Opoku expressed the positive impact early detection of disease can have on general health and well-being of both animals and humans. There's more in this report.
In Ghana, bird flu and anthrax are some known animal diseases that annually plague the sector. Animal health experts explain that 75% of animal diseases are zoonotic. meaning they are transferable to humans. Hence, it is crucial for a robust early detection system to check the spread and, in extreme cases, the outbreak of a pandemic. In light of this, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, in collaboration with the government of Ghana, has officially launched the Event Mobile Application Plus, MI Plus, a cutting-edge digital tool designed to strengthen Ghana's animal disease surveillance. Here is the FAO rep to Ghana sharing some thoughts on how the app can improve the capacity of experts in disease detection.
We know time is money, and this digital app helps save time in reporting and in action. So it is saving money, it is saving the incomes that would otherwise have been lost. Every minute and every day that we delay in taking action against outbreaks means animals die. Animals dying is incomes lost and livelihoods that are affected, and in the worst case, human lives being affected or lost. We want time to save money, but time also saving lives, livelihoods, and avoiding the next pandemic.
Ghana's Minister for Food and Agriculture, Eric Opoku, sounded government's strong commitment to tackling animal health issues in the country.
The ministry is committed to mobilizing resources and embedding Event Mobile Application Plus into our broader national animal health strategies to ensure its sustainability. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, today's launch is a clear demonstration of Ghana's unwavering commitment to protecting farmer livelihoods, safeguarding animal and human health, and ensuring national food and nutrition security.
Up until 2024, some 90 veterinary health workers and 30 community animal health workers have been trained to use the app. Other partners for the implementation of the Event Mobile App Plus are FHI 360, the UK Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, and the Veterinary Services Directorate. The Minister for Food and Agriculture also received a donation of vaccines and PPE from the FAO to help in the fight against some known diseases in the country.
Well, let's come to Accra, where students of Accra Academy have been trained on the need to harness the enormous opportunities when it comes to agriculture. Now, during the training, 1974 year group, who marked their 50th anniversary since leaving the school, also expressed their worry over the recent insurgency of recalcitrant behavior in some various second cycle schools. There's more in this following report.
Celebrating 50 years since leaving Accra Academy, the 1974 year group used the opportunity to train students of the school about the knowledge they have acquired over the years. The year group, as part of the visit, trained the students on the enormous opportunities in the agric sector, encouraging students to venture into agriculture. An agroeconomist, Victor Atukwe-Clotte, mentioned that the days of using hoes and cutlasses are far gone in agriculture, adding that there are several areas in the sector that can be explored.
Microbial cultures, insects that can be cultured. You can grow algae, which now serve as your vegetables. And all these things are areas, they are not necessarily new, but we had focused on the old type of doing things. The science is there for people to learn that they can use to expand the varieties that we will have on our table.
They don't take the agricultural lessons very seriously, but today in Ghana, not only Ghana, but Africa and the world, we are all thinking about food. Food is our main item. So with agriculture, if we are able to educate the students, they can go up and then help Ghana as a nation and then the whole world.
They also expressed their worry over the recent insurgence of indiscipline and violence in some second cycle schools.
Social media brings everything to us, so we get to hear about it. But I can confidently say that during our time, we didn't hear such bad things. We used to get our nose pulled, maybe rocked to the left and right, just to show the president that there is a senior in the house. but this time it's gone a bit too far.
It's untenable, and I think that GES, together with the now, allowed Parents and Teachers Association to have a strong handle on this, because these are places where foundations are laid. I spent 7 years of my life here, entering at 11, leaving at 18 years when I went to the university. You can imagine what this school has actually done to my outlook. And I think it's important that Parents Teachers Association should be strengthened, and then the GES working hand in gloves with them to ensure that the question of bullying is actually addressed and nipped in the back.
As part of the visit, the 1974-year group also presented medical equipment to support the school when it comes to health improvement.
The Minerals Income Investment Fund has awarded full scholarships to 45 brilliant but needy female students at the University of Mines and Technology in Takwa under its flagship Women from Mining Community Scholarship Scheme. Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, Justina Nelson, at the presentation emphasized that Ghana's mineral resources must serve a lasting purpose of enriching lives. Hence, the scholarship scheme is intended to support young women in pursuit of careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Launched in June 2024, the Women from Mining Communities WOMCOM Scholarship Scheme is part of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, MIIF's corporate social responsibility to empower academically gifted young women from Ghana's mining communities to pursue education in STEM and mining-related disciplines. This year's scholarship awards, valued at 460,000 cedis, benefited 43 undergraduate and 2 postgraduate students. Member of Parliament for Ahafwano South East, Yakubu Mohammed, delivered a speech on behalf of the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Income Investment Fund, Justina Nelson.
The WOMCOM initiative is more than a scholarship. It is a bold statement that gender should never be a barrier to opportunity. That young women from mining communities deserve every chance to pursue career in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Chair of the MIIF Scholarship Committee, Theresa Efua Jesse Entry, stated that their aim is to give back to the community through the royalties they receive from mining companies. She noted that there are very few women in mining, which is why they have targeted women for this initiative.
STEM education qualify for this scholarship. Now, because them STEM courses and you build one confidence. Now, when I wish you there, so what your course here, we both to support me particularly, you support one.
The MP for Takwa in Swayim, Issa Taylor, advised the beneficiaries not to disappoint the opportunity they have received, while also emphasizing that education should not be politicized.
Let us not make him partisan. There is no inscription of MPP and DC. They are Ghanaians and they live in a mining community and they have to benefit out of what is happening. I have confidence in them and I believe that they will all excel.
Some beneficiaries expressed their gratitude to MIIF and shared their joy at receiving this opportunity.
This scholarship is just not a scholarship, it's something that motivates us and gives us the confidence to stand in and also do well in our education. Because if you get this scholarship and you are not going to excel in your education, they can take it out.
Undergraduate recipients each received 10,000 cedis, while postgraduate students were awarded 15,000 cedis, covering tuition, accommodation, and other.
Well, that's it for the news update on Good Afternoon Ghana. My name is Harriet Adi. Annie.
Harriet, the Minerals Investment Fund story that you just went by.
Yeah.
Is this something that you would like to go into? There are a few women in mining, and I'm talking legal mining.
Yes.
And I think MIF is helping to encourage, females.
Yeah.
And that's why they seem to be entitled to the scholarships that they're offering. It's something I would love to take advantage of.
Me too. I really love that because I love gold. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not a bad thing because you don't pay school fees. So you just go and enjoy it. And when you finish, come and enjoy money as well.
Yes.
There's money in mining, you know. That's
Very
why people
necessary.
can't stop the galamsey. Yeah. Anyway, Ari, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, the new polls have been out. Musa Dankwa has released, the leading personalities that are vying or seemingly vying for the flag bearership race. This time in the NDC. We'll bring you the details of that. The NPP has also released a statement regarding their preparedness for the flag bearership race. We'll give you details of what the statement also says. We'll be back shortly.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, Mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa dear. Why wouldn't he be late? Obey you later.
Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Copy from Georgia be luckiest. From not the cause she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're luckiest. Everybody go be the luckiest.
That's Kwame!
Send your God up boom. If you put it at all, so would the coming of the Son of Man be.
Hey! Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompt and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Hooray, Ghana! The Ministry of Transport and its agencies invite you to the Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair 2025. It's the first of its kind in Ghana. From 22nd to 24th October 2025, the World Trade Center Accra comes alive with cars, ship, train, logistics and plane dealers all in one place. Are you a modern car dealer? Do you sell electric vehicles? Then this fair is your platform to shine. Students and the general public will experience free electric car test drives, thrilling maritime showcases and even free helicopter rides. All 15 agencies under the Ministry of Transport, plus global car dealers, airlines, logistic giants and investors will be there with His Excellency John Dramani Mahama as our guest of honor. Register now at info.digitaligh.org 0244-613-246 or visit our website www.transportlogfair.org. The Ghana Transport and Logistics Fair 2025. Beyond movement, resetting Ghana's transport future.
Back to the program. Someone just told me that I'm the only one that respects the Ghana cedi than foreign currency. Jesus Christ. Anyway, welcome to the program. Let's go straight into issues. And we have a latest poll that has been released to us. Now, a new survey by Global Info Analytics has revealed that 57% of Ghanaians prefer former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to lead the government New Patriotic Party, that's the NDC, into the next general elections. Now, the findings shared on the organizational official social media platform on Monday, September 29th, suggests that Dr. Bawumia remains the most favored candidate among the general voting population. According to the polling outfit, the former vice president maintains a clear lead across the country, reflecting broad-based appeal among ordinary voters. However, the survey also indicates that while Dr. Bawumia retains strong support nationwide, his performance among the MPP delegates has weakened in recent weeks. You know that the polls comes in, periodically. So once it comes, if there are change of minds, it will reflect in the polls. Now, the data points to the shift of some delegate support into the undecided category. Now, on the other side, the Tamale South MP, Haruna Idrisu, who is also Minister for Education, has emerged as a front-runner in the race to lead the National Democratic Congress NDC into the 2028 general elections, according to the latest polls conducted by the Global Info Analytics. The September survey also places Haruna Idrisu ahead of other top contenders, showing that he enjoys a significant lead among the significant lead. I've just lost my among the NDC supporters in key swing regions. Now, in the initial multi-candidate race, Haruna Idrisu secured 30%, followed by NDC National Chairman Johnson Esedin Ketia 24%, and Finance Minister Dr. Kasiolato Forsen with 18%. Other contenders trailed further behind. We'll be showing the polls on the screen pretty shortly. But the Executive Director for Global Info Analytics, Mr. Musa Dankwa, has joined us via Zoom to help us understand exactly what this poll or the latest release is about. And as and when he speaks, I'm sure we'll go through the polls and you see how it's also indicating. Mr. Dankwa, thank you for your time, and we're grateful that you joined us. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Annie. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I was on air earlier today, and I saw the release on your official social media page. Firstly, let me ask: have you received any bashing, yet? How is the reception like after the release?
You know, I have said this time and time again that it is only a matter of time before our friends in NDC will begin to attack me, and that time has come. So today, I think we are at the receiving end of some of the NDC people and also receiving end from the MPP people. So today, we have no friends at all.
Today, you have no friends at all?
No.
Why exactly do you think that's happening?
No, once you've chosen to be very fair-minded, very independent-minded, very objective, regardless of what the news is, I think this is bound to happen.
Right. We will get to the details of the polls. We have both the NPP and then we have the NDC as well. Let's start off with the NDC. National Tracking Poll, September 2025, Presidential Primaries, Outlook 2028, General Elections, 29 September 2025. So we will go through, I think we'll start with the methodology so that that's most important for everybody to know how, or summary of the, do you think that we should go through the summaries of the findings?
No, I don't think so. Let's just go to methodology and then go to specific issues that we may have.
All right, we'll go straight to methodology then.
So, look, there are two approaches here. We interviewed general voters by telephone, some of them, nearly 2,000 by telephone. We also interviewed about 7,500 face-to-face in 83 constituencies across all the 16 regions to get the views of the general voters. But in the case of MPP delegates, we sampled about 2,700 of them across over 241 constituencies randomly. So when we speak about MPP delegate, the sample is 2,700. If we talk about general voters, the sample is 9,500 at least.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear me now. Okay. The same methodology applies to the NPP as well?
It applies to the MPP race among general voters. But when it comes to the MPP, yes.
Yeah, that would be different.
Yes.
Okay,
but among the delegate of MPP, the approach was different. We interviewed only MPP delegates.
Definitely, because I see, okay, voters' preference for NPP leadership. All right, okay. So let's go through the NDC one with the general outlook. Take us through that.
You know, if you look at the NDC preferences by voters, let's make it clear. This is not delegate. It's MPP, NDC leadership by Ghanaian voters. When you ask Ghanaians, average Ghanaian, who would you prefer to lead NDC? Then you have 30% for Haruna Iddrisu. Assedin Kija 24%, Atufosin around 18%, Julius 10%, Ablakwa 8%, Eriko Poku around 2.5%, Joshua Alabi 2%, Amabua 2%, Iwadaku 1.6%, Spugabra 1.1%, and Kovandapo merely 0.1%. So this is what people are telling us that they prefer to lead NDC. Now, if you look at the data very critically, you will realize that Haruna Iddrisu is the only northern candidate in the race. So he is able to consolidate all the northern votes together, and that puts him ahead. When they come to the rest of the country, they are fragmented. If you look at the Ghana base, there are two people there, Okovandapoy and Professor Joshua Alabi. When it comes to the voter OT block, you have Ablakwa there. But if you come to the Akan block, you have Assedin Ketia, Atufosin, Julius Debra, Eriko Poku, Kofi Amabua, Kwame Iwadaku, and Spugabra. So the accounts are fragmented. And for that reason, certainly Haruna will be in the lead.
So it means that even among their accounts, if there are preferences, the votes will also be fragmented as well, or the preferences will be fragmented.
Absolutely.
because there are quite
it's fragmented.
A number of accounts, in the race. Now, there's something I'm also realizing. Now, Haruna Iddrisu his name has been on the board of flag bearership race for years now. At almost every elections or flag bearership race, his name comes up. So he's among known faces already within this race. The likes of Professor Joshua Alabi, Spugabra, and also Kwame Iwadaku, their names have come up before. But if you look at it, Spugabra, Kwame Iwadaku, Joshua Alabi are not doing very well with the latest polls you've conducted. But Haruna Iddrisu is still maintaining. He is among the old names. But he still is showing.
Look,
when it comes to polls, what's the trick for him?
Let me tell you a simple thing. People who have led NDC from the front line, from the front, are the ones the generation of voters remember.
Oh.
From 2016 all the way to today, we have seen the face of Ablakwa. We've seen the faces of Atufosin. We've seen the faces of Haruna Iddrisu. They have been the NDC leaders in the past 8 years or more. So voters who are young as 44 years don't go back to history. Those they see every day on television, those they see every day leading NDC from parliament and other places. They are the ones they remember. That is why these people who are not in our faces are struggling in the polls, but nobody remembers them.
Is it something you detect only among general voters or party delegates?
No, with delegates, they know everybody very well. But with voters, what they see is what they know.
Ah, okay. So that's what.
It's not about telling.
So that's
what.
Can't
tell them this man did this, this man was this, this man was that.
So the explanation you're giving is also going into the advantage of Asiedu Nketia, even though his name just popped up as far as flag bearership race within the NDC is concerned, because he's also been a front runner or a known face when it comes to partisan activities.
Absolutely. He's been the chairman, general secretary. He's always in the media. People see him, people know him. If people don't know you, they don't see you, you are out.
I see. Now, the name of Eric Opoku, I'm not so sure. There was so much talk that he seems to be in the favorites. Why is he doing 2.5%?
Go and ask the public. The public is telling me that this is what they know.
Yeah.
This is what they prefer. And I've said that if you are not in people's faces, if you are not in the media, you're not engaging people on television, people don't see you, you are out. And that's what we are seeing. If you look at Ablakwa, his works in the oral, his role before the elections, put him at the very top of the party's leadership. People know him.
Yeah, because he's showing us fourth in the race.
So what you can say clearly is that it will be very difficult for someone to come and lead from behind.
Wow. But in recent times, Ama Kofi Boa has been quite active, leading an issue that is, very serious. Everybody takes it seriously. Everybody is talking about him. He is doing media encounter almost every day, or at least almost every week. Is he not, or because he just started engaging the media, he is not still appreciated?
Let's see how these numbers evolve over time. But we're not going to be able to carry these long names all the time. We would have, at some point, whittle the names down to 5. And if people want to mention certain names, they can certainly mention them.
Okay.
But we will whittle this name down to a reasonable number.
Definitely. Right. Let's focus on Haruna Idrisu, again, as leading the numbers that you have done. There was the talk about possibility of the party having a challenge going back to the north. So in terms of tribalism, it was almost impossible for Haruna to come right after President Mahama should he exit. How is that also giving him still some more advantage? It doesn't look like the Ghanaian general public, because this is based on the general public's choice, right? It doesn't look like the general public is concerned about whatever tribal situation a political party may be facing.
No, I wouldn't go to the level of calling it tribal. I mean, if you look at what we are seeing in the data, the entire northern sector is behind Haruna Idrisu right now. And he's the only candidate from the northern sector who is in the race. What would be the equation if you throw in somebody like Muntaka or you throw in somebody like Ayariga in the race? What is numbers for? So this is something that we are looking at. But look, if you look at the NDC as a party, NDC is a congress of people. Small groups here, small groups there, and small groups there. And they've come together. So the thinking is that once one small group has had their turn, it rotates to another group. And I think that is what Haruna Idrisu has to face, because I have to convince your other smaller blocks in the group that let the North go again and again. And that will be an argument that he really has to make. But from what we are seeing, look, if you look at the blocks, as I've mentioned them, The blocks are the northern blocks, the what we call the Akan blocks, with about 8 regions put together, and then we have the Volta block. To some extent, if you take Accra out, you can have the what we call the Ghana Dange block. So in NDC, you have the Ghana Dange block, the Volta OT block, the Akan block, and the northern block. Now they will decide whether it is time to rotate or not. But if you look at the vote that the Akans are getting put together, they outnumber that of the northern sector. So if the Akan numbers in the race reduces, we expect the race to consolidate around 1 or 2 of the Akans.
All right. So, viewers, what you saw on the screen was the preference of the party. If we can have the preference of the voters. Okay. This is party preference, I think. No, general. Okay, this is NDC leader, voters for general NDC. This is the general preference.
Yes.
And that is the one.
Yes, we have not done.
But we now can take the party preference, right? So
no, we haven't done party preference for NDC yet.
You haven't done party preference?
Everything you say about NDC, no. Okay. Everything in this report for NDC is about the voters.
About voters, okay.
Not delegates.
Okay, so the slide I'm seeing with Asiedun Ketia leading with votes preference for NDC leadership, the Akan block.
Okay. Okay, so what we have done in some cases is look at people who are just NDC people, not delegates. NDC voters and what they are thinking.
Okay.
In some cases. So what we have done in some cases, look at the swing regions, for example, see how the race looks like in the swing regions. For example, NDC preference for NDC leadership, right? In the Akan block, you can see that Asiedun Ketia is leading in the Akan block. Akan block is the 8 Akan regions: Eastern region, Central region, Western region, Bono, Ahafo. Bono East, Ashanti region, and Western North.
Okay, so and with the Akan block and what you've mentioned, we have Asiedun Ketia leading, and comes with with Ato Forcing, followed by
Ato Forcing second, yes. Haruna Idrisu.
The breakdown and the
and if you look at northern block,
the northern block, let's go.
See what Haruna is getting. It's getting 59%.
So the northern block, Haruna has flattened almost every graph.
Absolutely. And that's the reason why it's leading in the race.
Wow. So, I mean, I wish we can have it on the screen. If you look at the northern block, Haruna is doing 59%. And Asiedun Ketia is doing 17, Ato is doing 9, Ablakwa is doing 4%, Julius Zebra is doing 3%, Eric is doing 3%, Professor Joshua Labi is doing 2%, 1% for Spio Gabra, Kwame Wadako is doing 1%, Amakofe Boa is doing 1%, and then Okovandapoy is doing 0%. And let's look at the Volta OT block as well. The Volta OT block.
In the Volta OT, you have...
The dynamic is quite interesting. So the Volta OT block, Ablakwa is number 1, but he's doing only 29%.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay, explain. Let's
understand. It tells you that no single individual at this stage can win the NDC race without the help of the others.
That's why the dynamics are a little different, a little interesting. Ablakwa is doing on the Volta OT block. Ablakwa is doing 29. Haruna comes up with 18%. Ato is with 13%, and Asiedun Ketia is with 12%. And then also Julius Zebra comes with none, all the way. Julius, Professor Joshua, Eric Opoku, Wadako. Okay, I think I've just identified a little name change on the Volta OT block. If you can check it on your slide, Ewadako and Spio Gabriel's name has been interchanged. Can you see?
Okay, we'll fix that.
Yes, and then Amakofe Boa, Okoboy, Okovandapoy are all doing nil. So it's only between 4 people: Ablakwa, Haruna, Ato Forcing, Asiedun Ketia. That's it. Okay, Can you explain this for us too? Akan block, where Haruna is leading with 29 and Atufosin comes close to 27. Meanwhile, we have done some
it's
Akan
not
block
Haruna,
already. What's that?
It's not Haruna leading there. It is Nketia leading in the Akan blocks.
Okay, I think I see a slide. I see a slide with voters' preference for NDC leadership, Akan block. You can go down after the NDC primary swing.
Let me.
NDC primary swing.
The swing.
Yes, swing. I need a
No, the swing. Now, the swing is not Akan. The swing is Central Region, Western Region, and Greater Accra.
Oh, okay. So, are you going to do a correction there?
So here, in fact, it should have been swing, not Akan. Sorry. So it should have been swing. The swing regions.
So we have some 2 corrections to do on the slide. Swing regions. Swing, yeah, because I was getting a little confused because we had seen the Akan block already. So with the swing regions, they are what? Western, Central, and
Greater Accra.
And Greater Accra. Okay, Greater Accra.
Yes.
And that is where you have almost a split vote between Ato and Haruna, with Haruna having 29, Ato having 27, and Asedun Ketia follows closely with 22%. And this is where Julius Zebra beats Ablakwa, comes up with 7%. Ablakwa follows closely with 6%. Interesting. All right. Now, there is the slide that has NDC primaries 3-horse race. Apologies, viewers, for our inability to put the slides on the screen. I'm sure the producers will work around it. 3-horse race, 37%, 19%, and 45%. Explain that.
Here, we were trying to understand how the public will react if we take one of the young people from the race and just leave one of them there. So you can see that we've taken Atufosin out and left Haruna Idrisu against Deborah and Asedun Ketia. We wanted to understand the behavior of Atufosin voters and other voters, whether they will go to the older guys, they will go to the younger guys. And that's why we've done that. And when you do that, Haruna Idrisu is on 45%, Julius Deborah on 19%, and Asedun Ketia on 37%.
So there was a split, no?
Yes, we can see that Haruna is leading when Atufosin is not in the race, clearly with a bigger margin.
Yeah.
And here you remember everybody else is out. Everybody else is out. Now we just have the Haruna Idrisu, Asedun Ketia, and Julius. So you could see that some of the vote from the other accounts have split to Julius Deborah and Asedun Ketia.
Yeah.
But Haruna still maintains it.
Wow. And you did the same with another 3-horse race, but this time one old person out and a younger person in. And
no, one younger person out, another younger person in.
Okay, one younger person out, another younger person in to test the voter behavior.
Yes.
And the vote went to Asedun Ketia.
He is leading by just 2 points.
Actually, yeah.
Atufosin on 38%.
It's on 38%. And
so when you take Haruna,
what does that mean? What does this behavior of the voter means?
Look, it means that these guys, remember, these guys are looking for young leaders.
Wow. This is a little sophisticated of today's voter. What can you say about it? I'm just looking at how they're thinking. And I like the test of their minds in terms of their voting behaviors.
Look, this morning in the office, we did a small focus group discussions with largely Gen Z voters in the office, trying to understand their mindset, whether they agree with the poll number that we released this morning. It was shocking. In fact, when you hear them speak, it is shocking. About 78% of the respondents in this survey are below 45 years of age. They are younger people. And the same poll is saying to us that 64% of them say they want young leaders. And look, we heard your mama saying that Africa is full of young people.
Yeah.
And these young people are making their voices heard. And that's what they are telling us. If you look at the vote, even the NDC race, where we have everybody, the vote that Haruna Idrisu, Atu Forcing, and Ablakwa get is almost 56%. The vote of 3 people equals to 56% of the vote. Young people. That is the message there.
It's quite a force to reckon with, even among
the dynamics are quite different.
Yeah, even amongst the young people.
Absolutely, absolutely. See, things have changed so much that, I mean, the old tactics way of elections are over.
Yeah,
we have a new generation of voters who are no nonsense in their view.
Wow. We will quickly go through the comparison you have tried to do amongst the top 3 or top 4 of top 3 and top 4 of the NDC against the top 2 of the MPP, or top 3. Yeah, top 2 of the MPP, which is
top 2.
Yeah, Dr. Baumia and Kennedy Japan. So the first one you did was to try to pitch Aseodun Ketia against Dr. Mahmoud Baumia. The results are that Baumia is making 45%, while Aseodun Ketia is making 50%. If you put
in that race, you can see that.
Yeah, and at the same time, if you put the same person to Kennedy Japan is making lesser, just 1% less of what Dr. Baumia is doing, and 1% is gone to Aseodun Ketia, which means that 1% that would have voted for Baumia will move to Aseodun Ketia if it is Kennedy.
Yes, you know why?
Why?
Yes, and this is coming from Northern Bloc. The Northern Bloc. When Baumia is not in the race, some of the NDC guys go for Baumia, but when he's not in the race, they go back home.
Oh my goodness, I'm having fun. I'm having fun with this. Okay, so you see what's on the screen. You see that there was 50% for Aseodun Ketia, 45% for Dr. Baumia. And this is, please, viewers, this is only if you're voting today. If we were supposed to vote for 2028 today, this is what you see. And if these are the candidates, selected for the political parties, this is what you see. So it means that in 3 months' time, it can change. Even in a month's time, it can change, all right? And then we had the Aseodun Ketia and Kennedy Japan. Can we have that one too? Great. So you saw that Aseodun Ketia having 50% in the beginning with Baumia shifted to 51% and 44%. So it means that there was some 1% swing, and that swing moved from Baumia to Aseodun Ketia instead of Ken, if it's Ken that is in the race. All right. So
yes.
Right. Now we do the same thing with Julius Debra and Baumia, and Baumia is leading. Julius Debra with Kennedy Japan. Kennedy Japan is leading. Baumia is leading with 50%. Julius is doing 46%. Kennedy Japan is doing 49%. Julius is doing 46%. All of them not crossing the mark of 51 point something percent. All right. And if you did Ato Forcing and Baumia, today I'm doing your work for you because you're not in the studio. If you did Ato Forcing and Dr. Baumia and Ato Forcing and Kennedy Japan, Ato Forcing is doing 53%. And Baumia is doing 44%. Ato Forcing against Kennedy Japan, Ato Forcing is doing 54%. Kennedy Japan is doing 42%. Can you explain the behavior of the voters' mentality as against Ato Forcing, Julius Zebra, and Aseodun Ketia? Because Ato Forcing is obviously doing better than the earlier ones we did compared to,
Again, it's a generational divide. The younger voters go to Ato Forcing in a large number than they were doing so against Mosquito and Deborah. So when you throw in the youth, the younger people, the numbers change dramatically.
So Haruna Idrisu now killed it with 55%, whether against Baumia or against Kennedy Japon. Kennedy Japon is doing 41%, Baumia is doing 42%. And he is leading amongst the top 4 candidates of the NDC. And also still compared with the 2 candidates of the MPP, Haruna is topping with 55%. What does it mean?
It still goes back to the same point of the youthful exuberance of the leaders they want to see. But also in the case of Haruna, he gets a very solid support from the northern sector, completely good support. And that is why he's doing well above at Bosnia at this stage.
Okay. Now, for the sake of time, let's jump straight into the MPP. I think that's what started the slide. And let's look at how the MPP is also performing. Who leads the MPP? Dr. Baumia is doing 47%. Kennedy Japon is doing 17%. DBA is doing 3%. And also Yao, what's his name? Former Educhum.
Osei
Educhum is doing 1%. And then also...
Now, this data is...
Yeah?
This data is purely MPP delegates, those who would go and elect the flag bearer. So this figure is more serious to look at than the general public one. The general public gives you their view, but you have no say in who becomes MPP flag bearer. So it's the NDC one. But it gives you in terms of general perception of the voters. And as you can see, in the public perception, Baumia, they prefer Baumia. In a delegate, they still prefer him at the moment, even though he's not crossed the 50% mark yet.
So in the public perception, let's say we have voters' preference of MPP leadership, Akam Bloc, Baumia is doing 53%. Northern Bloc, Baumia is doing 73%. Volta Bloc, Baumia is doing 44%. And swing regions, Baumia is doing 57%. And we go back to the same Akam Bloc. Kennedy Japon is doing 34%. Why is Kennedy Japon doing 34% in Akam Bloc?
Annie, Baumia is a formidable figure in MPP. And because of his stature in the party in the last election and the way MPP mindset works, they've said that he's been well marketed, so they should retain him. And I think people have bought into that. Kennedy needs to do something extraordinary to dislodge him from the summit.
Wow. So the widely speculation that MPP is an Akan party, they have bought into the marketing of a candidate who literally comes from the north, and they are saying, well, they say that Baumia should go, so we are going with Baumia, or Baumia has been marketing good enough, so we are going for Baumia. Is that what it means?
I think that's what it means. And even with the delegate, when you speak to them, they give you the same reasons. That is why the gap between Kennedy and Baumia, even though Baumia is below 50, it is still quite significant.
Okay, but the surprising thing also for Brian Achampong and Osei Educhum, still on the Akam Bloc, is how Educhum is doing 6% and Brian is doing 4%.
Yes, but unfortunately, they are doing better among the public than they are doing so with the delegate. I don't know how long it will take before the delegates begin to reflect the views of the general public. But for now, they are underperforming their public perception in the delegates.
Okay. Now, also, the explanation you gave with the NDC when I asked about persons who had been in the space of the flag bearership race doing or performing abysmally, I think it's also showing here with Kwabena Agyapong almost not in the race.
Yeah, I mean,
so it is true. It is true when you say that if you are not in the scene and you keep away from the media, it affects your political.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you see, if you are a member of parliament, it keeps you in the limelight. Rana Champon, member of parliament. Educhum, member of parliament. Ken was until recently. And Baomi has been a DP for a long time. So you can see that these people are the known faces within the MPP all this while.
Wow. Well, this is an advice to politicians. If you really have some dreams, not necessarily to become president, but hold any serious and important office, it is a space to look out for. So a lot of them are a little camera shy. They don't really, want to engage media. That you think is not a good thing if you think you have dreams and aspirations within your political parties and even the nation at large,
It is even profound when you look at the NDC list. All those who are not doing well have not been seen on television.
All those, if you can repeat it.
All those who are not scoring high marks in the NDC race are not on television.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, let me wrap up with you here. MPP primaries runoff, committed voters. The runoff is showing that Dr. Baumia is doing 62% and Kennedy Japan is doing 38%. Runoff.
Yes, in case it's a runoff, who would you vote for? Who would you prefer to lead NPP? And numbers there are quite emphatic when it comes to people who have committed their vote. Why so? We mean that people who have mentioned that I'll vote for Kennedy or voting for Baumia. We don't include those who said they were undecided or they will not tell us. We exclude them. When you use that basis, you see the race in this manner. Now, interestingly, if I want to go to one of the slides, slide 30, we try to see the behavior of people in the runoff. If it is Baumia against Kennedy, where do Educhum supporters go? If it is Baumia against Kennedy, where would Brian Achampong people go? From the poll we have done, we have realized that 45% of Educhum supporters will vote for Baumia, but 55% will go to Kennedy. When it comes to Brian Achampong, 43% of his people will go to Baumia and 57% will go to Kennedy. When it comes to Kobina Ajay Japan, 25% of them will vote for Baumia and 75% will vote for Kennedy. So you can see that all the other candidates are anti-Baumia because most of their people don't vote for him in the runoff.
Yeah. All right. That's interesting. Mr. Musa Dako, Executive Director for Global Info Analytics. We'll leave it here and we'll engage you again. I'm sure the next time or another time you'll have time to join us in the studio and you do your work on the screen as you've been doing with us. Thank you for engaging us. We'll leave it here. Thank you. Right. We're grateful for your time.
My pleasure.
Just in case you have access to the polls, also know that, the polls gives you a breakdown. And so as you see on the screen, there's so much going on in the polls. They give you every breakdown of the research you've conducted, and then they aggregate, and then they give you the percentages. I think it's the reason why margin of errors have been quite low when it comes to the Global Info Analytics polls, and all the predictions they've done have actually come to pass. So far, it is so good. If you've been asking why we always use the Global Info Analytics, I think it has gone a very, it's gone far to help us understand exactly how the polls are conducted on the ground as you read the details of the breakdown and the graphs. Let's engage Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere, a lecturer and also a political analyst, is joined us via phone for further discussion on what is happening. Mr. Asante-Okyere, you're welcome and good afternoon to you. It's been a while. Hello, Jonathan Asante-Okyere. Hello? Okay. I think it's via Zoom. Mr. Asante-Okyere, can you hear me? Hello, good afternoon. Okay, so as we try to restore Mr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere. Let me give you details of what has been released by the MPP as a party, political party. NDC released a statement. We'll read that to you. And in the statement, it says that for immediate release, New Patriotic Party reaffirms commitment to a fair, democratic process. The statement reads, the national leadership of the New Patriotic Party urges the public and its stakeholders to disregard recent public comments by the Ashanti Regional Chairman, Mr. Bernard Entwi-Boesiakun, and the Bono Regional Chairman, Mr. Kwame Bafo, popularly known as Abronye DC, as their statements do not represent the ideas and principles of the party. The party wishes to categorically state that no individual, irrespective of rank or positions, has monopoly or unilateral control over the compilation of polling station albums. Now, for the avoidance of doubts, the compilation of the polling station albums strictly adhere to the established compliance procedures. The National Secretariat will, at the appropriate time, issue clear and transparent guidelines, protocols, and procedures designed to safeguard integrity, credibility, and fairness at every stage of the process. We wish to assure all stakeholders, particularly polling station executives across the country, that such pronouncements should be disregarded and treated with the utmost contempt and it deserves. Now, in a related matter, Mr. Entwi-Boesiakun has also been heard alleging that the decision to hold the party's presidential primary on January 31, 2026 was calculated to favor particular aspirants. The party affirms that this assertion is unfounded. The National Council exhaustively deliberated and took the decision in the party's supreme and strategic interest. Giving the caliber of a member of the National Council, no individual can manipulate or influence a decision in his or her favor. The decision to hold an earlier Congress is intended solely to provide the party with sufficient time and strategic advantage to reorganize, reposition, and recapture power in 2028. The party remains resolute, committed to uphold transparency, fairness, and internal democracy in all its processes. Leadership will continue to ensure that every stage of our electoral activities reflects the highest standards of integrity and credibility. It is signed by Justin Kodua-Frimpong, who is the General Secretary of the NPP. You see it on the screen. Justin Kodua-Frimpong put this together and is disassociating the party from statements that have been made by the Ashanti Regional Chairman of the party and the Bono region as well of the party, in the presence of Bernard Entwi-Boesiakun, popularly known as Wontumi, and also Mr. Kwame Bafo, who is also popularly known as Abronye. They've been making statements about the party's preparedness to, select its flag bearer, and the party is saying it does not represent its ideas. I'm sure if you have heard these persons making such statements, please disregard it. We'll take a break. We're back shortly.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Kwame and his uncle are almost here.
Wait a minute. This one too, your friend Kwame.
Wait, Kwame. As in the same Kwame again?
Yes, mommy.
I'm the second coming. Into all this tension just to reintroduce that broke boy from Kaswa.
Why would you deceive the family like this again?
Now I understand the whole delay. Troll from Kaswa. Why wouldn't he be late? Or be late? Of course.
Star 712 hash, star 712 hash. You go be the luckiest. Go be from Georgia, be luckiest. From not the block, she be luckiest. Yeah, you go be luckiest. No matter why you're lucky, everybody go be the luckiest.
God, Kwame!
Send your God up boom. If you pray with that toy, so would the coming of the Son of Man be. Is that his car?
Dial star 712 hash. Choose your ticket. Enter your lucky number. Follow the prompts and let destiny handle the rest.
This promotion is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform.
Ama, nansi mi jeno wo bin enko ye kwao. Ama ma ye bohu se kontomra akija. Nansi me hu se mi nyo basima kra. Ama me kunu me into kwankwa. Oh you right. Enye mo give us GC mixture and then the capsules. Ah ye num boom. En ho asem na mo kana. E bua emma ene meme nyina. Ne ma wo ba ye obesima. Na be ma so aye be mesima. Ya, we be bua wo kunu. Ama ne giant sa wo de hye ne botum. Na wanyinya na nim tisese ne oyi chokmo na. GC mixture and a capsule. Achesa.
A painful about one more menu for one and Quada when you feel to me.
Na niema buo akosoro pa from 2022 COVID impacts no ebaye no Ukraine war and COVID ema niema buo ekosoro 2024 election mo nyina mo kai say na ye ka say abdia esi ye no na niema buo ekosoro Ghana ha nyina eye COVID na ebaye Emma nipa nema bo ekosro any Russia Ukraine war yeka saade no omampanyi mahama ne NDC omoka say ye twantro omo say COVID insan nimu at all enya sa no omoka omo say economic mismanagement enya sa no omoka say COVID enye a factor me say me kan say I think Nra ena omampenyi echo New York ena omo okoka say Africa nyina niema bo echo soro because of COVID. Semot mwati or say COVID ninti ena niema bo echo soro or say a lot of your effort at reduce poverty over 10 years or 20 years. COVID no sa effort ni nyina aba form in just 2 years. Sa no kind na niema bo akosoro pa. From 2022.
Tell yourself the truth. Why were you saying break the 8? Because you knew that it has never happened before. You were just trying to do the impossible. So if you are trying to do an impossible thing and it hasn't happened, why are you hard on yourself? For what reason? You know it. That's why you were doing break the 8. Because you know that it is difficult to break the 8. That's why you made it your slogan. That's number one. Number two, you knew that no first-time candidate has won an election in this Fourth Republic. You know that. And you have done 8 years. You have presented a new candidate and you didn't win. And you are beating yourself. Wallahi, I'm not beating myself. Wallahi, I understand it. I'm not upset. And I don't think that anybody is responsible for anything. We did our best. Why? If we had won the election, would we have formed a committee to look at why we won? You will not. You would have thought that the campaign team was perfect. The campaign manager and Nana Komia and all these people would have added it as more badges of honor, as more laurels that they have won. Because they did their best. So if they didn't win, so be it. As Muslims, we are all taught to say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. That's all. It's a very simple matter. So, Bob Marley says, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. In our case, we didn't even fight and run away. We fought and we are here. We are fighting again. So I beg you, I just came to Damango to say that all these things General Secretary and Co are saying, Dr. Bawumia, well, they are nice guys. I'm not a very nice guy. So they are nice guys. They will say they are sorry, they did this. But wallahi, there is no policy that the MPP implemented that I am sorry about. Wallahi, I'm not sorry about anything. We did our best for this country. And there is nothing that John Mahama will ever do that will match anything that we have done. Nothing. Nothing. Wallahi, nothing. Look, already see what's going on in governance. Today they appoint somebody chief executive. Tomorrow they change him and take him here. Tomorrow, my oil refinery, they appointed Combat. The next week they removed him at Dr. Suleimana. Yesterday they removed Suleimana. This is a confused government. They are not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. And so let us stand together. We, like I told you, myself and Clifford and Co, we started from opposition. We started in 1991-92 as opposition people. So opposition is not something that frightens us at all. It doesn't frighten us at all. If you attend Presec, Achimota, and you become a great man, I don't care about you. I respect somebody who attended Damango Secondary School or Boku Secondary School and becomes a big man. So fighting from the ground up, that is what resilience it is. You cannot win always. You cannot win always. I have a son, my firstborn, who says he's going to contest to be constituency secretary for Medina. I told him, I said, Zaki, I am going to come to Medina and campaign against you to lose. Why? Because all through his life, he's been winning elections. JHS, SRC president, SRC president, Casfor Hall secretary, SRC president, UCC. I said, no. You see, if you are winning all the time, you will tend to believe in your own invincibility. Sometimes it is important to lose, to learn humility, and learn that God exists. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Welcome back to the program. Right, we're still, on the polls, and we have been able to raise the deputy spokesperson for the Dr. Bawumia campaign team, Dr. Ikia Amwako, to, have a bite on the latest polls that's been released by Global Info Analytics, putting Dr. Bawumia at 57%, the general voter population. That's what they're saying. But if you also put Dr. Bawumia within the delegates, he's still leads. Also, the party has released a statement of comments by leading persons of the party within the regions, and that is destroying, the party's, communication to the general public, and he has sought to clarify them. Doc, thank you for your time. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Annie. How are you doing?
Hello, Doc.
Yes, Annie, can you hear me?
Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I see that you're on the move, but thank you for agreeing to speak with us.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
I can. Right. So I'm sure you've seen the latest polls, the periodic polls that come out from Global Info Analytics. Dr. Baumia still leads. With the general public, he's giving 57% over his, close contenders as far as the flag bearership race is concerned. And also within the delegates, he leads. What exactly is Dr. Baumia doing rightly? Is it the apology he gave or his communication style has changed?
Okay, well, let me first say good afternoon to everybody that is watching us. We are currently somewhere in the central region interacting with delegates and members of our party, the MPP. I think the Global Info Analytic poll is something that comes out every month.
Yeah.
Every time that it comes out, we look at it to see what lessons we can learn from it as a campaign, and then we work with that and move forward. But it's not the only poll that we have available to us. We have our own internal polls, and we have various other sources of data that we work with. I think this just goes to show the strong support base that His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has in the party and in the country as a whole. I remember we spoke after the Ashanti regional tour, and I told you that it was very obvious from the interaction with delegates and party people that the spirit of the MPP was so strongly behind Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. So personally, we are not too surprised with the poll coming out from Global Info Analytics. We are on the grounds with the people, interacting with them every day, and it's about the same kind of energy we are getting, if not better. So yeah, based on our own internal polls and what we see on the ground, we would even cautiously be optimistic and hope for more.
Now, on the area of apology, as Dr. Bawumia goes around, he tries to, plead to the conscience of the people, and he at some point has apologized for the things that your party may have done or may not have done. But for purposes of clarity, what exactly is Dr. Bawumia apologizing for? Because there are some times that when he's communicating, he seeks to defend some statements that were made by the previous government, but at some point too, he does apologize. So what exactly is a clear communication?
So I think the problem, or where this miscommunication may be coming from, is because I don't think journalists or people at home ever get to see the full communication, the full conversation His Excellency has with delegates. If you are able to listen to it and understand the context in which he's speaking, it is very clear. Firstly, he has made an apology on behalf of the government, as he was his immediate past flag bearer, for any mistakes that we may have made in government. Indeed, we are human beings. We would have offended one person or the other through our activities as running a government. So I think that apology was rendered a long time ago. But now, as a group, as a party, the New Patriotic Party, there are a lot of people that feel disgruntled. When Professor Michael Quay went round to seek answers for his research, one of the things that came up was that a lot of party people felt disgruntled. They didn't feel like they were treated fairly by the party system. They didn't feel like they were treated fairly by party members who were in government. So if you listen carefully to what His Excellency was saying, he is just admitting all of those complaints that have reached his doorstep. And on behalf of the entire organization of the party, as the immediate party leader, assuring the delegates that that kind of behavior would not happen again, that their complaints have been heard, and he's apologizing on behalf of anybody in the government that might have behaved that way. So this is a very specific apology to the delegates, to the party people that feel disgruntled.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you are aware, Annie, that we suffered a huge apathy in 2024. And one of the reasons why the research shows we suffered this apathy is because people were unhappy with us for one reason or the other. So it is very important to build bridges and mend these kinds of relationships, because truly I don't believe that these relationships are permanently broken.
All right, so the apology goes directly to the grassroots members or delegates of the party.
Yes, that's the distinction I tried to make in the beginning. He has made a general apology to the Ghanaian public after the election. So that was done on the thank you talk. Any things that the government might have done that the people did not like. You know, we did a lot of good things that we are proud of. I always say that when you do a sector by sector analysis of a lot of the sectors we have in Ghana, the NPP government did well. But fine, the people of Ghana did not really see it that way in 2024. So we were voted out. We have to admit that and meet them halfway. So we apologize if we did anything wrong. That is different. That has been done a long time ago. But
okay.
This,
Has he ever had the mindset that, not that if we did anything wrong, but we admit that this went wrong, that went wrong in terms of apologies?
Yes, I think
so. In terms of, and I'm not talking in terms of apology to delegates. I'm talking about.
And at that point, I think he even listed some of the allegations or some of the things that had been brought to his notice that he admits that we got wrong as a party, and he apologized for that. This was a long time ago, in about February. What I'm trying to say is that the apology
what were some of those things? What were some of those things brought to his notice?
Oh, it was some of the things that were listed in the Okwe reports, that people asked for a reshuffle, it wasn't done. He apologized for a lot of those things. I think we should find that video and then.
But the Okwe report was party-based, not national-based.
No, the Okwe report was asking party people the reasons why they did not vote, reasons why they did not vote, they did not turn up to vote at all, or reasons why they turned up and voted against the party. So that, as I was saying, that apology has been made to the Ghanaian people, and he truly believes in that. That yes, some things did not go right, some things he would have done differently in hindsight, and he's apologized for that. But the point that is important to make is that right now we are having a delegates election. It is delegates that we are meeting. So the conversations we are having are a little different. So that's why I try to explain what this apology is. This is an apology to the delegates of the party, the rank and file of the party. These are polling station agents. Constituency executives, they go around. We recently met a gentleman who was trying to put up a poster for the party, and he got electrocuted. This is like the machinery of the party who we've been working with for a very long time. So if they feel disgruntled, rightly so, I think it is very important that as a leader you apologize to them and assure them that you do things right. And it's not just an apology to His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. It is something that is really on his heart to improve the situation of the delegates of the party, to improve the situation of party members, and to move beyond that and improve the situation of the people of Ghana.
I'm sorry to hear that someone was trying to put a post up and got electrocuted. That's a sad development.
Yes. Some of the stories, when you move around, some of the stories that you hear of some of what people go through on behalf of the party, it's very touching. And so if they go through all of this and a little expectation they had was not met, you can see that it's a very disheartening situation, and it's very important, and it's something that is very dear to His Excellency's heart, and he's been going around communicating exactly that there were probably a lot of things going around, so some attention wasn't paid to something. But when he comes again, that kind of behavior will not be tolerated from his appointees, and it will not continue.
I mean that's appreciated. That is a communication that goes to the roots of the party, to supporters of the party, where he's even promised that when he gets to become president, he will, appoint party executives, across the regions or something like that. I think he made a statement or a promise.
Yeah, I don't think it was party executives across the region.
What do you say?
When you put it like that, then it's easy to be misconstrued that we are not going to do these appointments based on merits. What we are saying is that to make sure that there's fairness and there's equity, every constituency should present 10 names for appointments. for consideration. So every constituency is just presenting 10 names for consideration. At that point, we'll look at capability, competence, and everything, and then those appointments can be made. Because as I said on your show the last time, every government or every president will make about 7,000 appointments. And we cannot run away that one of the biggest problems political parties face when they are in government is after the appointments are made and people feel unhappy because it becomes about whom you know. I've told you about this. We've seen people fighting over free SHS slots in the NDC recently. We've seen the MC in Mampong who was told that they don't want an Ashanti. In Ashanti region, the NDC was telling some of us that they don't want an MC who is Ashanti. So these are the peculiarities of being in a political party. And he is saying that to make sure that there's fairness in this.
I don't think we're even criticizing his promise to appoint party executives, because it's not a statement that is new.
No, but Annie, I don't want somebody to take it as though the promise is to appoint 10 party
Just to reference you, in 2023, Dr. Baumia made a similar statement. It was a one constituency, one appointment, something to that.
No, it was 10 appointments, and I'm explaining to you that it doesn't mean that 10 appointments are constituency executives. That's the explanation I'm trying to make to you. It just means that the whole constituency should sit down and agree on 10 of their best in that region to be considered. It doesn't mean that you have to be an executive, or I don't know if you get my drift.
I mean, I get your drift, but I'm not saying nobody is criticizing that
promise. No, I'm not taking it as a critique. I just want it to be clear that it's not like 10 appointments per the executive. It just means that there's some inclusion with the appointments of government officials.
But I mean, it's not as if when parties come into office, there are certain areas they consider in their points, and they don't mind certain areas like constituencies.
Oh, then you haven't been following, Annie. It's one of the biggest. That's usually the first start of fights in a political party when they come into government, appointments, and people feeling that they haven't been fair, they haven't been treated fairly. We were here when not long ago in His Excellency President Mohammed's own hometown, they were burning ties because they felt like they were neglected with appointments. So do you not remember? It's a big issue. It's not an issue that doesn't exist. It's an issue that all political parties have to deal with.
I see. All right. So we will just talk about also the party's release. The statement that has been released, signed by Justin Kodia, sending information or communication to the general public to disregard, persons leading the party in different regions. In separate regions, Ashanti region and Bono, and the communication that they are putting out. How is that also affecting your campaign? Is that really doing harm?
I don't think that is really affecting our campaign. I mean, this seems like a party matter, a matter for the party. The Baumia campaign has already hit the road. We are meeting delegates. That is our focus, selling our message to the delegates. And, as we just discussed polling, we are very focused on January 31st. But some of these things are expected. We are in a political season, and a lot of things are said, and a lot of things can be twisted. So I think these matters are purely party matters, and so it would be really best if they explain it themselves. But I can just put on record that it's not something that is really affecting the Baumia campaign. No, not at all. It's political talk. We've heard people say even worse. We've heard people on the other side also say somewhere that, they advocated for these former executives to come. So it seems to be like a bargaining chip or something that people think they can campaign with. And so different groups are going on. So if the secretary wants to bring the issue into involve people to
I can understand the interference on the lines. That's because Dr. Ike Amakun is on the move, campaigning with Dr. Baumia. So I'm sure that's the reason why we're having that interference, on the phone lines. But I was asking about the recent release that's been put out by the party, the NPP, advising the general public to disregard statements that's coming from Chairman Nchibu Esiako, probably known as One to Me, and also Chairman Abronye as well, who are speaking, against what the party's position really has been so far with regards to statements, leading to the fact that the party, selected a particular date to go for its flag bearership race. That's because it wanted to favor a particular candidate, and the party is, disassociating from that statement. The national level, the national executives are disassociating from the statement, saying it's untrue, and therefore the public should disregard the statements from these people. The letter starts by reading that the national leadership of the New Patriotic Party urges the public and the stakeholders to disregard recent publication or public pronouncements by the Ashanti Regional Minister Chairman Bernard Enchibu-Isiakon, aka Chairman Wontimi, and also the Bono Regional Chairman Mr. Kwame Bafo, popularly known as Abronye DC, and as their statements do not represent ideals and practices of the party. The party wishes to categorically state that no individual, irrespective of rank or position, has a monopoly or unilateral control over the compilation of polling station albums. For the avoidance of doubt, the compilation of the polling station albums strictly adhere to the established compliance procedures. The National Secretariat will, at the appropriate time, issue clear and transparent guidelines, protocols, and procedures designed to safeguard integrity and also credibility and fairness at every stage of the process. So that is what a statement has been signed by Justin Kodua-Frimpong, who's the General Secretary of the party. Dr. Jonathan Asante-Okyere has joined as a political analyst and also a lecturer at the Cape Coast University. Doc, thank you for your time, and you're welcome to Good Afternoon Ghana. We have a few minutes, but I think I can pick your thoughts on what has transpired so far. Firstly, the recent polls released by Global Info Analytics, pitching Dr. Bawumia in the lead, and also the NDC flag bearer, seeming names that have popped up, and the name that seemed to be, leading, Haruna Idrisu. We have Johnson Asiedu Nketia, and we have Atofo Singh, to be precise, at top 3 of the polls that has been released, either delegates or general polls. And then also we have the NPP releasing a statement to advise the general public to disregard statements coming from its party chairman of the Bono region and the Ashanti region. You're welcome to the program. Your comments on this?
Thank you, Annie, and good afternoon to your viewers. I think that the national executives of the NPP, they are now acting rightly, dissociating themselves, from statements that in any way do not augur well for the image and the integrity of the impending elections. Such proactiveness is something that is quite welcoming. That apart, I'm of the view that with Dr. Bawumia's long-standing experience, having been the opposition leader for 8 years, deputy flag bearer, so to speak, and that of vice president in government, well, he stands tall. And comparatively, if you look at the way Mr. Kennedy Japan has conducted himself in the past, that of Dr. Bawumia, that of Dr. Brian Champon, it appears to me that Dr. Bawumia is slightly ahead of them. I would have preferred they looked at Dr. Dichum because among the lot, he appears to be less tinted, if I should use that particular expression. With regards to the NDC, I think that it's a little too early. I believe that there may be other names that may even pop up along the line. I don't want to think that there is any kind of motivation behind this particular poll. Nobody, has officially declared his or her intention of contesting. The first poll that he brought, that one had Vice President's name in it, and she was leading. The Vice President nowhere has ever expressed any interest to that effect. And since then, once she fell sick and came back, her name has been out, of this particular poll that Mr. Danko has been doing. That being said, I also heard you suggest to the effect that what happened to the Greek minister when in actual fact he was among the overwhelming favorite. Well, probably he may have to sit down to ponder over that and answer that. Because if it is just merely about media presence and other things, then obviously maybe the chief of staff's name should have been on top of everybody else, or even Mr. Asidun Katia for that matter. But it is not that simplistic, as he makes us believe. And I'm of the view that it's a bit of a distraction for government, because if you are not careful, as early as President Mahama is in his government, in his second term for that matter, if you have these names being bandied about, if they are not careful, what will happen is that each, will be trying to outdo the other, and that will not serve purpose for which they were voted for.
Yeah.
And,
So you think that in the in the area of the NDC, these are just too early for such polls to be out?
Yeah, certainly, and especially these are not even delegates. The kingmakers themselves, have not been elected along the line, apart from those who statutorily will be part of the delegates list. It is not like the NPP where they are doing it top to the bottom. The NDC will most likely do it from the bottom to the top. And so you are going to have, a list of new faces, a list of old faces combined. So as he rightly pointed out, this is like general voters. So I want to think that probably he may have to look a little more, because there are certain things that are a bit worrying, to be frank with you, about the way, and I realize that you are a bit more probing into some of the questions, because how do you, in any case, find, for example, Mr. Blackwell's name? You see, it's not as if he's not qualified. We have had a situation where the NDC is more nationalistic than acanistic. What that means is that it is more of a rotational business than just necessarily concentrating. Because it should be, I had wanted to wait because nobody has expressed any desire to be president.
Yeah.
But if I'm forced to put this in the media for now, it may, one way or the other, you pointed something to that effect. It may affect somebody's desire to become president.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. The NDC delegate will have to question themselves. You see, you have had a Votarian NDC candidate, the late President Rollins. He ruled 11 years of military, 8 years of what's it called, constitutional, 19 solid years. Then comes a central, Professor Mills. And Central Region have been having, some kind of advantage within the NDC for some period. They have produced a president, they have produced vice president, they've produced another vice president under the ticket of the NDC. Then a new leader comes from the north. 2012, if you look at 2012 up to 2028 as a leader, that will be over 16 years. So the question will be among the other, groupings, whether it would be appropriate to have another Northerner lead the party for now. Most often than not, when a leader rules a particular stool for a long period, whenever it creates in itself a succession problem. That is why I've always said that two things can only militate against the NDC's chances in 2028. One is the economy. Two is the transition and how it is handled.
Yeah.
So if people do not sacrifice to keep the integrity of the party together and its unity, it could crack. And it could even be worse than the NPP.
Yeah.
Because they are in government. And every little thing that you do will be in the public domain.
Yeah.
So you see, I have looked at the dynamics, I had Mr. Amakofi was named from the West. Usually we used to say Western Central, so that equation is there, and many other things.
Yeah.
So as to whether it will be in the supreme interest of the party if you should have, somebody from that stock continuing that particular, path. And finally, I am of the view that there is a resurging growth of NDC's presence within the Middle Belt. That includes Ashanti region, right?
Yeah.
With God, comfort can replace pain. Peace can replace turmoil. Hope can replace sorrow. God loves you. God hears you. God speaks to you in your thoughts, in your heart, and through living prophets. Come, hear the words God has for you.